Hey everybody, and welcome to your Rayse Quick Start Guide. So let's get you started. So we're going to start with our SSO. So you are going to go to your dashboard and you're going to find the Rayse logo. So when you click on that Rayse logo, it's going to take you here. And this is where you get to see your agent dashboard. So this is where we're going to start. And you're going to see in the middle, it'll say create your first journey. So we'll get to that in just a second. Now, the first thing that we'll want to do is to brand this for ourselves. So I want to make sure that your information is on here. So the first thing you're going to do is go into the bottom left-hand corner. You're going to see your name. And we're going to click on that. And here's where you get to add that information in. Here's some personal info. This is where your contact info goes. There's public info. So it'll be your headshot, your bio, your license number, even some social media profiles, your client testimonials. All that good stuff's going to be in here. And your brokerage info. So this is what's going to show up. The colors, the logo, the tagline, any of that stuff. So you get to add that stuff in here as well. So I would say take some time, brand this for yourself, make sure that this is exactly what you'd like it to be, and then we can get started with working with our clients. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is create a new journey. So we're going to click on that. And this is where we get to start a new journey with our clients. Now, I have existing clients. Those are the people that I've already worked with. We can see I've got Yvonne, Yelena, Jack, all those folks in here. But if I'm going to create a new client, I'm going to put in their first name, last name, email, phone number. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I need to get started. And you can actually have as many people as you'd like in here. So if you have a husband and wife, a group of investors, all of those people, they can all be in here. Now I'm going to put the journey start date. And then what is the type? Are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Are they both? If they're both, we need to create two separate journeys. We're going to pick either buyer or seller. But that way I can select which type this is, and then I'm going to have my templates in here. So I'm going to put default as my template and create the journey. So there it is. So that's how we can create our new journey. Now, when we're working with our journeys, you can see here's all of those different things I have to do. And we're going to go to presentations first. So I can see here's a buyer presentation. I also have the seller presentation in here. And it's really simple. I go to journey. I select one of my clients. These are all buyers. So I click into that and I can see it's going to ask me for a little bit of information. Now you'll notice that this pre-populated for me. So all of this information is stuff that I've already added in here. You'll only ever have to do this once and then it's going to pre-populate that. But I can see I've got what type of property it is. Remember, this is your last success story. So this is somebody I've already worked with. It's somebody that's successful because I'm going to go and present this to my next client. Imagine we're going to visit our client Yvonne in tomorrow, let's say, for the very first time. So I get to see all of that information here. And we're going to put this in here and launch our presentation. And then once I do that, I get to see all of these cards in here. So if you want to see the explanation of how to explain this, there is a larger webinar on how to do that. But this is how we can launch that buyer presentation and explain, here's the entire process. Here's everything that we're going to do together. I can even show them how I got paid. So, right, what is my home price? It's $1.7 million. They're just looking at this, that gross compensation. That's in here. But here's what I'm actually going to get paid. So I get to take that awkward chat that I normally have with my clients and get a really informed conversation about it just by showing them all those numbers. So that is the presentation itself. So I would encourage you to come in here, create a buyer, give it a shot, try it out, either a buyer or a seller, whichever that is. Okay, so we just took a look at our presentation. So let's take a look at working with the journey. So let's go and pick one of our journeys. And I'm actually going to go to Steve and we're going to go to activities. So this is where I get to show, here's meetings, there's calls, there's emails, there's desk work, all of those things that we do for our clients. I get to have those in here. So we're going to go to calls, we're going to add activity, and let's say it was 20 minutes. So anything that I do with my clients, I can add that in here, and it's really fast to add all of these things in. Now we also have the automation, and that is up here. We're going to see all of these activities that we've done, those homes that we went to go tour. I can do that in here as well. But the first thing that you have to do is download the Rayse Assistant app. So when you go to the App Store, whether it be Apple or Google, you're going to see Rayse Assistant. That's what it says. And when you log in and using this login, you're going to see the single sign-on here. And then it's going to take you here. Monitoring is paused. Now we're going to click Resume Monitoring. And this is it. It's working. So now anytime I go somewhere with my client, if I go on a tour, I visit listings, I go to an inspection, it'll log that activity automatically. I don't have to do anything. So go ahead and grab this app from the App Store, and we can start to monitor those activities. Okay, so next is working with our journey. So getting in here and actually working with our journey is really simple. So I just created this journey, and I can see here are my 4 steps, here's my milestones, and here are my outcomes in here. And all I have to do is start checking these off. There it is, really quickly, and this is how fast it is to be able to work with these different outcomes. Now, you'll notice for a few of these, there is the red asterisk. It may ask you for a little more information, like your compensation. How much was it? We had to have that conversation, so let's say it was 3%, and we'll save. And that's it. So now we've started to work with our journey, and it's really simple to get in here. Now, the next thing is sending this to my client. I've created a journey. I want them to follow along. So you're going to see that paper airplane up in the top right. So we're going to invite our client. We're going to click on that. You're going to see not invited, invite client. That'll send them the invitation, and they're going to set their password and be able to log into their client portal right from here. You can also add more clients. Okay, so that is your quick start. So go ahead and get this branded for yourself, create a journey, create that buyer presentation, start to click off some of those outcomes, and get started in Rayse. If you ever need anything, we are going to be in the bottom left-hand corner. You'll see contact support. Here we are. So we usually reply in just a couple of minutes. There is also the Academy. So if you do need any help, go ahead and click that contact support button, and we will be here for you. Thank you, and we will see you in there.